Welcome back. It's time for the papers where you get to be a part of the show by calling the numbers on your TV screen. But joining us in studio for the in-house analysis is Public Affairs Analyst Theophilus Akatugba. Good morning. Good to have you. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Mr. Akatugba. The last time you were here was fireworks.
Yes.
The Battle of the Sexes with Bakari Yusuf. Yeah. But we're glad to have you. It was good television.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Good to have you. All right. We're not into violence, but let's punch you with the punch.
A soft punch.
Did you hear what I said there?
Soft punch.
Soft punch. All right. On the front page of the Punch, flood disaster. States intensify action as 232 die and 121,000 displaced. NEMA lists Niger, Adamawa, Lagos among worst hit states in 2025 as farmlands, homes destroyed. Fubra consults Tinubu on Rivers Peace Sustenance. NBS announces 4.23% economic growth, labor differs. And then we see Olubadan, Ladoja coronation rites begin with prayers. FX reserves hit $42 billion, highest in 6 years. Maybe we'll start with that.
That's a beautiful news coming our way this morning, and I like the fact that it's receiving very good, good positioning on the front page of the newspapers. I believe that the president understands the optics and what it does for the economy, and I perceive on my own that he's going to be pursuing $100 billion foreign reserve level in order to bring comfort to encourage investors and everyone that does business with Nigeria to have the confidence to do, and more people to come into the country to do business. So I commend the managers of our economy for the giant strides, for the progress and the success that is being recorded in the economy. The GDP growth is positive, and everything is looking quite bright at this time for the country, especially when it comes to the macro economy. But the micro economy, in terms of people's feeling of the good, is what the government need to, to work on, so that just like Okonjo-Iweala advised, interventions, you need to get
social
to the people.
Intervention.
Yes.
Now let's talk about the headline: 200 plus people dead in the last few days because of the rains. How much of it is an act of God, and how much of those deaths could have been prevented?
Okay. The act of God is the fact that the weather, the rains and everything. Yes. But the fact that we needed to prepare against it is something that we always failed to do. And that has been a problem of our nation. Even as much as football tournaments, we don't even prepare well enough, quick enough. Athletics in everything. And so when we get this fire brigade approach, or trying to prepare or respond when the crisis has occurred, has become part of the DNA of our system. And until we do something about it, in this country, we will see that there's a potential challenge or a problem. No governmental body will do something to forestall it. It's only when the crisis or the misfortune has occurred, then you begin to see measures. Why should measures start taking place when what we could have avoided has occurred? Most of these deaths could have been avoided. Some of those people, those areas where they live in, I can assure you, they will know that there were flood-prone areas, and there was no need for those settlements to remain. Especially when the warning of the rains had come earlier, the weather reports indicated that there would be, consistency and heavy rains. So it's very painful. Apart from that, citizens also need to cooperate with governmental bodies. Sometimes when they send this alert, move away from these areas, you see people are still stubborn and asking questions. When do we move to?
Exactly what I was going to ask the question.
If your neighbor in a low-lying area, or it's a relative of yours, you are from the same village, and you pick up his call and say, sir, they've given us flood alert. I need to move to a low-lying area, and I know you don't reside in a flood-prone area. Are you ready to open your doors to accommodate a family of 4 or 5?
Well,
in this current economic situation,
truly, it might be a difficult decision to take.
No,
the fact that not that there are people. If you ask me a question directly, I might tell you yes, but another might not. However, we have social institutions that can help to provide safety. Why do we have so many churches, so many mosques, so many religious organizations, including...
That's not their primary
we also
responsibility.
have public parks and places. I believe government should do more. When they tell people to relocate, they should point them in the direction of where they should go. Just telling them to relocate is not enough. You must provide temporary shelters. And these shelters can be provided by the social organ. We go to churches, we pay, we make contributions, we pay offerings and tithes. The mosque, including your traditional worship centers, and including public parks and social. Why is it that all the NGOs are more busy with activism than really dealing with the real problems of the people?
But it's the responsibility for the NGO. So because whatever the NGO is doing is voluntary.
I understand.
The churches
It's not,
or the mosques.
and even the churches and the mosques.
The churches are really, and the mosques are responsible for things like
Are they tasked to?
They are. That's why
Why
they
do
are
we have a
churches.
NEMA?
No, NEMA
Exactly.
is governmental, but the
Okay.
churches have the spiritual and social responsibility for charity. That's why they are established.
So charity is different from when there is an
Emergency
emergency.
I get you.
Charity is okay. There's some sort of poverty issue. The church is trying to reach out to the vulnerable and the less privileged, or the mosques as well. This one is that NIMET has already predicted that there will be rainfall. This will happen. So we had foreknowledge of the fact that these areas were going to be flooded. If the government has foreknowledge about this, shouldn't the responsibility lie with the government to make an alternative?
I agree with you that the government should, but because of the peculiarity of our society, government alone is not financially buoyant enough to respond to some of these things. And this is why you have all these social and religious organizations that can come in. I didn't say they should respond when the crisis has occurred. They could have also responded by creating...
For their community.
For their communities where they are set up. Some of the churches are well located in highland areas that are safer. Because you don't say churches are just for religious purpose and spiritual purposes. They are also charity. And charity is not only to respond to poverty, but to also respond to save people from danger.
Okay. Let's still look at the front page. If you look at the right corner of the Punch newspaper, you would see there, FUBRA consults Tinubu on Rivers Peace Sustenance. NBS announces 4.23% economic growth, labor differs. That's the updates there. Let's talk about the FUBRA meeting with Tinubu that has become so much of a big deal.
It is a beautiful continuation of the advice of the elders. When we give it here, people differ. So FUBRA is on the track of wisdom to bring peace to his government, to ensure he comes back to office and also flourishes. This is what he should have been doing to have avoided the state of emergency in the first place. And now that he's on this track, I believe applying proper wisdom, River State will experience peace, FUBRA will prosper in his governance. You know, sometimes if you don't eat the yam because of the oil, you eat the oil because of the yam.
Words of wisdom.
Words of the
I felt
elder.
like Twinkle and not there and spitting out a little bit of Jane.
But let's take this call from Marco from Magodo.
Good morning, Michael. Thanks for calling.
Good morning.
All right, please go on with your thoughts, Michael.
Okay, so I was just watching your analyst that analyzing the economy and saying that everything is looking good. Sometimes I wonder if this same economy that we all operate in this country, because the people on the street, the ordinary Nigerians, are not seeing any improvement in the economy. Rather, everything is on the negative compared to where we were before this administration came in. We thought Buhari was the worst president we ever had. We never knew that it was going to get worse because everything is just getting worse. I had a cause to visit somebody in the public hospital about 3 times in the recent times. If you see what people are going through, senior citizens, retirees, pensioners, they are queuing up to see a urologist in one particular hospital. And I spoke to some of them. They said they queue up from 7 a.m. till about 7 p.m. and they couldn't see the urologist because they have only one consultant urologist in that public hospital. They come in around 5 p.m., but people have to book and queue from 7. So only a few of them could succeed to see him in a day. And if you see some of them, they are helped, their children carry them, some came even in a wheelchair. And I spoke to one of the management in the hospital. He told me that it's because they don't have manpower. People are jackpying. They are looking for doctors they couldn't. The facilities in that hospital is nothing to write home about. You be in a hospital room, you see big rats running around, mosquitoes. You see a lot of things that Nigerians are suffering. And it turns me when people come and speak, analysts come and speak and tell me that the government is doing well, economy is looking good. These politicians and the government functionaries and their hanger-on, if they have headache, they go abroad. They go to France. They call it working district nowadays. But Nigerians are dying. Retirees, senior citizens that have served this country are dying from hunger, dying from sicknesses. They don't have medical care. Is that how we are going to continue? It's very shameful. People don't have conscience again in this country.
Thank you very much.
Nobody should tell me otherwise the government is doing. What are they doing?
Thank you very
They're
much.
asking us to pay more tax. I have a small business. That a janitor in my business earns up to 120,000 per month. The government is paying 70,000 minimum wage. And government they are writing me letters and asking me to pay more tax and claiming that every income that comes in that I'm supposed to pay, when I had paid what I ought to pay.
All right, thank you very much,
so
Michael. We'll have to
Mr.
interrupt at this point.
Akatugba, I want you to respond to Michael's comments. But in this context, the government came in 2 years ago. And this decay, because he spoke about the lack of equipment in some of those hospitals, the time it takes to see a doctor, the state of things. Generally, how much responsibility falls on this administration? Because this, and some of the things the government inherited, the revenue shortfalls, the different foreign exchange rates, in 2 years, how much of these criticisms, if we're being fair to this government, does it deserve? And what more can they do given the revenue shortfall and given what they have, the resources available to them? Or is it a matter of perception management? Because the government will be going around in 100-car convoys and you can't fix things. That's why people would blame them for everything and anything.
Well, he didn't mention the hospital that he's referring to, so we don't know which of the hospital. Was it a primary healthcare center? Was it what hospital was that?
I want to assume that it's a
So my own is
hospital.
yeah.
It is Nigeria has a myriad of problems, and it takes time to solve all of them. For example, when he talked about people are not feeling the economy he referred to before Tinubu was a cushioned economy, in which everything you did was subsidized. That economy gave you a certain buffer. But if you remember, we still thought that was the worst, that Nigeria had collapsed. Even under that regime, we said Nigeria is finished, and that Nigeria was useless. It was, in fact, the description of Nigeria was extremely negative. And we thought that people now said, when a next government come, it will be better. They are now saying that even the previous they are now saying that was better. What is happening is, this government is trying to rescue the country so that the country does not collapse with the people. Because we were already so bad. If it did not solve the macroeconomic situation of the country, what was going to happen was going to be worse than Venezuela and other countries. So Tinubu is restructuring the country, and the difficulties are recognized. There's no way you will dodge these difficulties. It was only being postponed. That is the truth. Every economist agree when you move, if you don't do the right thing, that's why Nigeria is beginning to breathe a breath of fresh air, but the citizens have not felt it. That's the argument.
And the government is not tightening their
No, they are
belts.
doing so. No, it has not been. See, Nigeria is 200 million people. They look at
Have you seen some of these convoys?
We get it.
Have
No,
you seen
let's
the items in some of these
Can I leave the
budgets?
convoy first? When you look at the conditional cash transfer alone, 300 billion, the register is there, the people are receiving it, but it's a drop. When you look at the numbers, 15 million people to 200 to 80, 90 million. A lot of interventions are taking place in different sectors, even in the health sector. Today, in Nigerian health sector, people are coming from the UK to have quick consultation here. That's complaint he complained about. If you contrast it with even the US and the UK, somebody had to wait 6 months to check tooth. 6 months.
So people are really flying back in.
Yes, into this country.
I mean,
because
they're going to private clinics,
let's hear from
hospitals.
I'm saying that is an improvement in our general healthcare system.
Let's hear from Andy, who's calling in this morning as well. Good morning. Thanks for calling. Please go ahead. Andy, please turn down the volume of your TV set and then go ahead.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm in opinion. I want to ask about this flood issue. These particular flood issues that occur every year. It mentions something that the church and the mosques that were supposed to be responsible for it. And I know this is not the first time this flood issue is happening. You understand? And we also have budget for these flood issues. We have a kind of a MOU for this flood. Please, I want him to tell me. This flood issue happened last year. This flood issue happened a year before last. That we cannot go through Bayelsa to worry. We go around to go and turn through Owerri to worry. Please, I'm begging the government. Is it every time and every year we come back to discuss about this flood issue in social media or in television station? I want to ask, can they do anything to this flood issue? Because there is every year they will say there is budget for this, there is budget for that, there is budget for this. How long are we going to deceive? How long are we deceiving ourselves, please? I need a direct question and answer from this. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And before you respond to that, I also want to take a few comments from YouTube. Good morning, Mokunye Chukwemeka. The number of comments here says, where can they move to? This is in reference to the flood. Are there camps for them to stay for a while? Who takes care of their food and health? Is it the government that doesn't care? And then in response to what you said about tax, it says, we pay tax, churches do a lot to support these people when disasters happens. It has, then in reference to the hospital, the person who called to talk about being in the hospital, says it has to be a general hospital. I wanted to see a specialist back in Port Harcourt. My date was as far as 3 months from the day I went to the hospital, and I can confirm that this is truly the position because I have an aunt who needed to see the doctor. She went to the general hospital. I know this because we even had this conversation as recent as yesterday, and they gave her a date in August. They gave her a date in December. And then he says, there is no drop of fresh air anywhere, please. Please point me to the register of those who received the conditional cash transfer. Okay. I would like to see it. So, Mokunye Chukwemeka is asking for the database for conditional cash transfer.
Okay. Now, that database is very available, it's online, so I might not be able to give you the exact address, but just search for it, do a Google search, and you will see the link to the Ministry of Finance, where they have provided this database. Now, what Nigerians need to know, like I always tell people, Nigeria is a developing country and we have so many problems. We've not tackled our problems the way we should in 40 years. And to resolve them all at once will be very difficult. And to expect it to be so is what is called the frustration that Nigerians are facing. Nigerians face frustration because they expect that their country should be as good as the countries they read about and they hear about. But if you see progress, you must applaud it. When I applauded the 42 billion, we were zero when this government came in. Almost we've used the money to borrow. And we had a phantom 20-something billion but it has been borrowed, it has been used as collateral. This government is building it. We've paid down all the forests for airlines and all of that. That means the economy is in a good way. But how do we...
Microeconomics.
Good. This is what the president, look at the president recently
Cost
said.
of living.
Crash the price of food prices. Crash the prices. And the farmers and everybody came after the president that's going to destroy the agricultural system. That to do that, will reduce prices and discourage farmers. But the president has to do something to reach out to the common man that need to feed. He has to intervene by either importing and flooding the country with food. But those in agriculture are already worried. But if you do that, our fortunes will dwindle and you will destroy our economy, our industry. But the president needs to intervene because we have an emergency. The first port of call when people say we are hungry is food. Food has to be cheap. And in these days, we need to import to ensure that we have enough food in the country while we resolve security issues. Because what did they tell the president? Say resolve security issues, provide infrastructure, help to reduce cost of input. Do you think this can be done in a year?
Okay, let's hear from Uche from Abia and then we'll come back to you. Uche, thank you for calling. Please go ahead.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I listened to your guest, telling Nigerians that Fubara told the line of wisdom. The same Fubara, he has forgotten. Fubara said his spirits have left government house long ago. The same Fubara is now telling us he is happy, he is back. So his spirit has come back. The same way Wike told us that APC is cancer. Today, the weakest of a man is enjoying the cancer. Is that how we strengthen our institutions? Rather than challenging the action of president in the court, so that Nigerians will know the boundary of power of Mr. President. Another one he said, Mr. President said, crash the price of food. Have Mr. President, go against those illegal taxes that people are collecting on the road. That is the main thing that is causing the, part of what is causing the price of the increase of, food prices. From here to Lagos, I'm calling you from Abia. Before you take anything from here to Lagos, you must have spent a lot. From north to east, you must spend a lot. Last regime, the vice president, they set up a committee to look at, those things. They find out that illegal collection on the road is the cause. What has Mr. President done? On issue of our economy, that Mr. President made a performance the economy. Look at the convoy of Mr. President when he went to, is it a wedding or whatever in the north? Can anybody explain that Nigeria is poor when you are seeing those convoys? I rest my case. God bless you people.
Thank you very much, Uche.
Very beautiful. Uche's fabulous submission there, but let me point out something here. If you look at what Uche said about rivers and the discordant tunes of politicians, you don't have to rely on the statement of individual when they are in crisis or when the solutions. Fubara said spirit left, maybe the spirit is back. For me, somebody said, so what people say really is not what I deal with. I deal with the outcome of the action. What action they should take and what is the outcome. If you look at the president, the National Economic Council, by the governors themselves, identified the fact that roadblocks and all these unnecessary checkpoints, and each governor undertook to go and solve the problem. In Nigeria, to resolve a problem is more difficult than causing the problem. The governors have all gone. I hope they have been able to do that because checkpoints need to reduce, and all the collection centers, and the governors themselves identified it. The president is now saying, National Economic Council do more to crash the prices, meaning they want to flood the market with food. They need to do that because people need to eat before they can even engage and participate in governance. Otherwise, these people that are unable to eat or can't find food to eat, they will buy their vote.
It's also a national security concern.
Absolutely. Yeah. So food is a very big issue. So I agree with that. And he talked about the convoy. Let me tell you something about the presidential convoy. If you have ever been in any position of authority in Nigeria, you will understand the sycophancy and the fact that everybody wants to be connected and be close to the seat of power. Even at local government level, wherever you lead as a politician, ordinary politicians that are local leaders holding no public office, when they are even going somewhere, when I visit my hometown and I see politicians, everyone wants to belong to the convoy. So the presidential convoy you see could be hangers on and joiners and political people. It might not be a bill that the president picks. It might have a convoy of 20 cars and there might be another 100 that are just trying to belong.
Yeah, but these SUVs, they're paid for by taxpayers.
That's what I'm saying, that if all the...
That they even have it in their pocket.
this...
And we talk about growing Nigeria. I didn't see any innocent vehicle in that
we
convoy.
can't, see, for me, I like to be realistic, you know. But
it's the government that says they will start a grow Nigeria policy.
No, they are doing that. It's a policy that needs to be implemented at all levels. But the point...
But we're not seeing it.
I don't want to go into innocent and all that, but the point is, innocent is selling as much as it should sell. Innocent might not have capacity to meet all of that. The demand of vehicles in Nigeria is still a growing concern. If you tell Innocent to supply vehicles needed in Nigeria, it might not be able. Those who have used Innocent, they have the repair centers and the service centers. Where are the service parts? So there are challenges. It's a growing company. Nigerians like to belabor themselves by just having an agitation. Innocent. Innocent is a growing company. It will
not
get
just
there.
beyond Innocent, the idea of it, the idea of looking inwards.
But it's happening. That's why you see local contractors are building roads. Recently, they said that any contract of 20 billion, only local contractors should bid for it. There's a process. It's making, you see, the Nigerian nation is moving forward. But the citizens have a disconnect with government and the country. And that has been so for so long.
It's the government that has a disconnect.
No, the government doesn't even know the people they are governing. They don't know them. Because over the years, we don't have a reliable database. And we are not also, many people give birth to children. They even tell you they don't care about registering the birth. And it's all a mess. People, only when they want to have a passport, that's the first time some people obtain the birth certificate.
Okay, let's hear from Kane, calling from Enugu. Good morning, Kane.
Good morning. Yeah, I want to draw the attention of the discussion to the portion of Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway. That is, if you are coming from Port Harcourt, the lane going to Enugu, there's a portion of that road, they call it Obaku, between Obaku and Newe in our local government area. There's a continuous accident on that portion of the road. I don't know what the contractors actually did there. Every week you record series of accidents. So I don't know, that place seems to be very, very slippery. Though I'm not an engineer, but that is what the complaint of the people around that place there. If you go there every week, you see accidents happening there. So let the Minister of Works draw the attention of those contractors to go and repair that road, because it's claiming a lot of lives and costing us loss of a lot of properties on the road. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kate, for
That's
bringing our attention
Abel.
to it. It's as a matter of national importance.
I'd like to speak. There's a headline I saw, is it in the Independence?
I think it might be Daily Independence.
About the procurement issue.
I don't know if that's something, but let's look at the Daily Independent as well while we're checking. On the front page of Daily Independent, experts tackle Tinubu over order to crash food prices. You did make reference to that earlier.
Yes.
One directive risks crippling local agriculture. Ask federal government to tackle drivers of high food costs. Nigeria's oil sector still threatened by cabals, according to Otedola. Oil sector drives Nigeria's 4.23% economic growth in Q2. I like that they put those two stories together, that the oil sector is being threatened by cabals and oil sector still drives Nigeria's... They are fighting the powers and principalities by any means necessary.
We have, this country... Sometimes I say that I have spoken today as if I'm defending government. And I don't want to be seen like that. But I am I so love my country, and I gauge the progress of this country daily. Because if I am a public affairs analyst, I'm only just analyzing to have popularity, optics. Because in Nigeria, the only way you gain great popularity is to be against government. And once you are like that, people say you are the friend of the people. And we've been doing that for long, and I don't know where that has led the country. We need to be very supportive first, and then also pressure government to do what is right. Take a look at this oil sector and the progress that have been made. Otedola himself has acknowledged that the cabals are still there. And when he said that kind of thing,
The fact that Dangote is exporting refined petrol to America doesn't mean it's not yet to.
Have you read Dangote's comment? Dangote has never fought a battle as he's fighting now. Dangote has never been, his wealth has never been endangered. Do you see the level of crisis from one crisis to the other, different group of people?
The
current one, yes. Because he's making an attempt to improve the situation. This is a man of such wealth. Just imagine small politicians and few appointees trying to do this. Read Okonjo-Iweala's book on an attempt to cure the oil industry. Her mother was kidnapped. She was told to resign and leave the country. People don't understand when they say cabal. It's an evil force that has captured our country. And if the hands of these evil people are being removed gradually, you think they will not fight back?
You're taking food away from the table.
That's
they
it.
will fight back.
So, Dangote is a private individual who attempted to come into the oil sector. Let's see what he's going through daily. He said something here. He said, I have been fighting all my life, and in this one, I will fight the more. Because he wanted to take over logistics. Because petrol from his refinery to the people can be frustrated by a group of people, and the oil will not, the refinery benefit will not be seen in Nigeria. We will start saying again what has happened to us. The man said, I'm bringing in 10,000 trucks. And look at the battle. Nigeria is a very dangerous country.
They said they're fighting for the welfare of the drivers.
The welfare of the drivers, good to fight for it. Is it at the expense of 200 million people? We can sacrifice them for the good of the majority.
Okay, still on the front page of the Daily Independent, reps throw weight behind Tinubu's borrowing strategy. Tinubu reaffirms commitment to constitutional reforms. Fubra visits Tinubu, vows to maintain peace. Peace in Rivers. Akande asks governors to emulate our initiative on education. And then at the top of the paper, fintech adoption by Nigerian SMEs reaches 50% for banking. History as Enugu begins transition to smart school. And finally, El Rufai jittery over support for Tinubu in Kaduna, according to presidency. Do you believe in that?
Of course. There's been a back and forth. El Rufai said President Tinubu is planning to go for a third term, and Bayo Adanuga...
That he's not as much of a Democrat as he would like to position himself to be.
Well, this is the period of throwing salvos at one another. The reality of the matter is that Tinubu is a politician that responds without, it's not arrogant. He doesn't brush off a threat. His attempt in Kaduna is deliberate, knowing that El Rufai has been moving against his popularity. And so President Tinubu does not, when he knew the battle was on the social media, he immediately held the convention of digital media space. And he populated the space, and you can see the kind of foothold he's got in that sector. So it's very deliberate, and they know the politician they have in Aso Rock. So don't expect a Jagaban or a Tinubu who's been behind the scene, producing many presidents, working with many presidents, understanding the pitfall of many. And you think he's in that seat, will not play kind of politics that you never... So every one of them should know that the battle to take Nigeria from Tinubu is going to be a big one, and he's not going to relent. He's not going to just give you the chance to do so. If you come at him, he's going to come back fighting for the votes.
Fire for fire.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. So El Rufai's claim is I feel it's a bit premature. I think it's too early to accuse the president of a third term when he's not gotten his second.
Okay, let's quickly take the Nigerian Tribune as quickly as we can, as we're almost out of time. I'll take the stories we haven't touched before now. Bodies of 8 missing policemen recovered in Benue as gunmen kill APC chieftain. 4% free on board levy. LCCI expresses concerns over enforcement despite federal government suspension, calls for policy clarity. Inhaling marijuana increases risk for asthma attacks by 44%. I hope that marijuana inhalers can hear this. U.S. threatens visa ban on corrupt Nigerian leaders. Do you think this will do anything?
Yes, it will. Nigerian leaders love to travel.
But America is one country out of many countries.
Yeah, I know America is such a country that people have regarded as a country, a God's own country. When you have a visa to it, you feel that you have a place to escape to. It's a general concept in Nigeria that we believe that foreign countries are more important than Nigeria. We saw a traditional ruler that was saying that the best country in the world has given him a paper. So our elites generally, they use their ability to travel at will abroad in an oppressive manner, like I pass my neighbor, I pass the people. So when the U.S. threaten them like this, it goes deep.
Is the U.S. in a position to even tell us about
Well,
corruption?
recently we have now seen that
Donald
U.S.
Trump recently he just said he will be selling citizenship at $2 million. Trump gold card. Is that not corruption at the highest level?
What you see of the U.S. is the real U.S. Donald Trump revealed and exposed U.S.
He removed the makeup.
Yes, you people see, U.S. was a decorated, calamity, and we all knew it. And so, because they were decorating it, Donald Trump opened it for us to see. This is what we are. This is who we are. We had debates like we had in Nigeria. We have attitude. Even ballot box was also born during the election.
Nigerian politicians don't. Some of the things he says, they don't stoop so low. He said people shouldn't feel sorry for Biden because of his cancer diagnosis, that Biden is a terrible person. I mean, it's not even presidential speech.
That's what I'm saying, that in Ghana, there's a proverb that if you are going to church, it's a proverb I heard, and you meet a white man on the road, he said, go back home, for the God you are going to church to seek, you have already seen. That is an elevation of a white man.
That's how they revere.
No, that's why we have revered. So now they have brought their true persona to you. It's for you now to know that you have something to offer, so that you become proud of who you are and don't always try to check yourself against them. Be yourself. Grow like the Asians have grown in pride.
Sir, do you have
the way the Arabs have grown in pride?
Do you have any plans of visiting America soon? Because they'll be watching you.
I like America. I've never been enamored about going to America in my life. I've traveled to many countries, but I love America today because they are trying to recover. Because they have gone in the wrong path.
I mean, for me, if I can't make it,
they are trying to recover, and I'm proud of the energy and the effort to recover.
If I can't make it to America, I can always make it to Liberia. Their flag is similar.
As we wrap up the conversation, I just want to mention that in response to your speech, your statement about the conditional cash transfer, Mokunye Chukwemeka says, "Hello, Olive, except I don't know how to use Google. I couldn't find any link to the numerous recipients of the cash transfer, saw data protection policy." And then when I look online, I can also see that the Human Environmental Development Agenda Header Resource Center has called on the federal government to exhibit transparency and accountability in its recent claim of disbursing 330 billion naira to poor Nigerians. So they are asking, saying, give us evidence, show these people.
I'm sure the Minister of Finance should point us now to the database, because he said eloquently that they have it and they will make it available to whoever. We have also the Freedom of Information Bill. Finally, I'd like to speak about that report that says that there's no transparency in procurement process in Nigeria. This has been a problem in our country. The DNA of Nigeria is such that we do deals around procurement, and it's too secretive, and we need to be more transparent. Those who issue contracts in Nigeria, they set the bar so high and they go behind to qualify their friends. So we need to wake up from that path.
Classic example is the Lagos-Calabar Express, the new highway they're building.
Well, so maybe we'll pose this question to you. The federal government has said that 8.1 million households across the country under the National Social Safety Net program have received the sum of 330 billion naira in total. If you or anyone you know has also received this, it would be great to hear from you.
People
please drop a message to share.
Those demographics don't have television.
That's not true. Please let us know.
It's the poorest of the poor.
I don't agree. I don't agree. Okay. But we'll revisit this conversation again tomorrow. Mr. Akatugba, thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you to our virtual audience, those streaming live on YouTube. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a wonderful rest of the day.